Yeah.
I think
now I forget the question, but
me too. ADHD.
Sabrosura pa' ti que.
Hola manis, welcome to Café con Pam, where we share our stories over cafecito. Yo soy Pam y te traemos historias from first-gen Latinas, people of the global majority, etc., etc. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell, do all the things so you never miss our cafecito together. Y bueno, claro, for more incredible stories, you can tune into the podcast con el mismo nombre. El día de hoy vamos a hablar con Catalina del Carmen. Kat is a business coach and host of the Show Up Real podcast with over 120,000 downloads. It's a big deal. And she helps women of color coaches and service providers scale to six figures through ethical sales, authentic content, and simplified strategies. Kat has been featured in the New York Times and in Yo Quiero Dinero podcast. Y también she empowers her clients to grow their wealth while living authentically. Bueno, listeners, during this conversation, we talk about ADHD, we talk about growing a business, leaving her career. So she deliberately chose to leave her employer to start her business. And we dive deep into that part of her story. And frankly, because we're both ADHD brains, the conversation, we actually did it at a coffee shop. And so this is literally a genuine cafecito conversation. And the goal was to make it 30 minutes. We ended up talking for over an hour and we could have kept talking. We literally left the coffee shop, and then outside of the coffee shop, we'd stay talking until we were like, all right, we have to go. She had a call. I had work to do. We can't just stay talking forever. And so I hope you enjoy this conversation. All the links and everything is at the bottom of the screen. And please do share, like, comment, support. Because the more you support, the more you click on all the things and leave the comments, the more the algorithm, you tell it that it needs to show us to other people. So we appreciate it anytime you take action, because as an indie podcaster, we do have some sponsors and we are still funding this. And so we are still considered an indie podcast and an indie channel. And our goal, frankly, is to end the year with at least 500 YouTube subscribers. So help us do that. If you just found us, hit subscribe. No te cuesta nada, ¿no? Y bueno, aquí está, sin más, mi conversación con Kat del Carmen. Kat, welcome to Café con Pam.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to talk to you. You are amazing. I love you.
You're amazing.
I remember starting my podcast in 2019. There were very few Latinas doing this work.
Yes.
Or having podcasts and just, and
it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, and you were one of those. Nice. And yeah, I looked to you and looked at what you did to grow your community and what you were doing and what you were talking about. You were one of those people.
Still working on it.
Same girl, same. But I remember it so well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just so you know.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You
you're
should have
amazing.
reached out. I'm always like, people tell me and I'm like, why didn't you tell me? Like,
we could
I'm
talk
over here
about
like
that.
nobody's listening.
I have a little drama about I always tell not podcasters. I always tell my clients this too. One thing I struggle with is I say networking, but it's really not networking. It's like reaching out to people. I always think I'm like gonna like bother them or they have important things to do. So like it's one of those areas I'm really working on. Like no. You ask for what you want.
Yes.
And I'm pretty like bold and like I say what I want, but something about like tapping people on the shoulder and asking for stuff.
Is it because it feels like they're a few steps ahead?
I think so. I think so. I mean, I've gotten a lot better at it now that I'm more experienced in business, but I still like some shit still comes up.
Yeah.
I can cuss, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, I should have.
Well, next time.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
A few years later. So you quit your job and you were like, we're going to start a business.
Yeah.
And
Did you know what it was? Did you know what the business was going to be?
So I had a podcast. I started a podcast in 2019. I didn't have a business at that point, and I had been on a content journey. In 2016, I started as a blogger and like played around with content, YouTube.
What's your background? I know it took you 10 years to finish college.
In career?
Yeah.
Yeah, my career was, what's funny, trading. And then lastly, I was selling training in tech, which is so interesting because now I sell coaching, which is very much, like could be under that umbrella. But that was literally my last job at Adobe Systems in tech. I was selling training, like with the sales guys. They would sell the product and I would sell the training that would go with it. Like I would be like, you should do this training and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's crazy how similar it is.
But it's your lived experience and this is where you pull from.
For sure. But the podcast was started because I was listening. I always want to start a business. I wasn't one of those people who were like, it just happened. Although I wish it was like that for me. I was a business major. I always wanted to start a business. And after my content journey, I couldn't get consistent with anything, but I was learning a lot. And then in 2019, I had my first baby, which we talked about this just a little bit ago. I had my first baby in 2019, and he literally was the thing that inspired me to really like go all in because, I just didn't want to say, oh, baby, you could do anything you want in your life and like you could be anything you want to be, and then me like not doing that. So he really inspired me to like, okay,
actually
time to talk the talk. Time to walk the walk. So when he was, how old was he? He was about 4 to 6 months old. I threw a training, for my network. I put on, because I was working in training. I put on a training. I called it Follow That Fear. And I was like, it's a night where we talk about fear. I invited my cousins came, my friends, like whatever. I remember I even like boosted an ad. Like I didn't know what I was doing. And one person came from the ad.
Yeah.
This is also new. And it was really a success. Like I want to say 28 people came, which is like now looking back, I'm like, that's amazing.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. But that happened right before I went back to work after maternity leave. My baby was like 4 months old. And I didn't want to keep doing trainings because I knew that was like a big effort. No, I did it in Berkeley, California, and I lived in Oakland, so I didn't. But I knew it wasn't like sustainable for my life right at that time, or at least I thought it wasn't.
Because you had to be in person.
Yeah. So then I was like, let me start a podcast.
Okay.
It didn't happen just like that. I wanted to do YouTube, but I was like, postpartum was not making me feel really, like I just wasn't happy with the way I looked. So I started the podcast in like a last minute decision.
Yeah, because I heard you wanted to do the YouTube as a thing.
YouTube
and you were like,
I wanted to do.
Cameras, too much work.
I went to work on a Sunday at my office when no one was there. I went there to record a YouTube video. Got so frustrated that like the lighting wasn't good, and you know how it goes. But like I was just so frustrated with everything, and like I swear to God, it must have been God. Start a podcast, like something in my head, and no kidding, that was like December like 4th or 5th or 6th, and my podcast was out by the end of the month. Like it just was that fast. And then it became the only thing I became consistent with.
Nice.
And then that podcast was the first thing I think I treated like a business. I wasn't selling anything, but like I treated it like a business. And it really did, it didn't just grow quickly, you know. You put effort and then it grows. But I did really do my best to make sure people knew about the podcast. And the podcast was really sharing personal development, growth that I had actually lived through or that I was learning. But then the threads of the episodes, like for the listeners, I was very honest, and I would say like, I don't know exactly what this is going to turn into, but I really want it to be a business. And the way I would talk to my audience is like, look, I don't fully know what I'm doing, but I promise that I will learn, I will take action, and I will report back here.
Nice.
And that created a really, really
So you
great
built in
community.
public.
I very much built in public. And by, I think, about 6 months into the podcast, the downloads were growing. I think I hit like 10K in 6 months. I remember,
That's big.
yeah, at that time I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but now looking back, I'm like, oh my God, like 10K downloads. And then that was when I was like, I think I was trying to find ways to monetize it. And I just started doing strategy calls, and that turned into a course. I did a course just on podcasting, and then a group program on a personal brand. And then after that, a lot shifted because I quit. Like, I was a little crazy. Looking back,
ADHD now.
ADHD, impulse.
I mean, I've had like 13 businesses
That's crazy.
in the last 9 years.
Oh my God.
In like so many different iterations.
ADHD, girl.
And
that's amazing though. Like, it's really cool.
Talk about doing it with like, what is it, the fear? What was the name?
Follow that fear.
Follow the fear.
I wish I could have kept the name. I couldn't keep the trademark. No, if someone had Follow the Fear, and she don't even have a podcast still. I was so mad at her.
I don't know if I've ever shared this, but I trademarked Cafe Con Pam when another Cafe Con Pam podcast showed up. And that was like, oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no.
I've used this name for 10 years.
Yeah,
We're
hard
not going
no.
to do this.
Yeah.
And it was like...
But you have rights to it if you were the first one. Yeah.
It's first use rights, but I was like,
No,
first
but
of all,
still.
how dare you? Like,
Yeah. Like,
You know.
hello, you know I exist.
see?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was, and she ended, like, I never reached out, and she ended up posting 2 episodes. And then it's a dead
Well,
podcast.
once you are a podcaster, you know that people don't last long in the game, okay? Like, a lot of people have podcast episodes
lot of work.
with 10 episodes or 13 episodes or 4 episodes. It's a hard, like, you have to want it really
You have
bad to
And I do
continue
think
it.
podcasting is a great thing for ADHDers.
I never thought about it like that, but that makes sense because you could do it on your bed. My first episodes, I really was like, honestly, the first year, all my episodes were recorded on my phone with voice recorder app on my bed. And full transparency, I love the sound quality of it still. I'll be like, dang, this is better than my mic sometimes.
Yeah.
But that makes sense.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to, like, it could be whatever mood you are. It could be whatever look you have. Who cares?
So true.
And I think that's why TikTok is so great for ADHDers too.
Yeah. I'm
very
just
forgiving.
getting into TikTok.
I'm not.
Yeah, well, that's
I
okay.
should.
I
But-
know, well, we all should a
So,
lot.
all the shit. But
We could have a should party.
yeah, which I think TikTok gives me fear, a little bit of fear.
Yeah.
The visibility piece.
For sure. Yes.
Because it's so much easier for people to see you on TikTok.
100%. I feel like every time I get recommitted on TikTok, I will go viral once, and then I'll be like, go
Just
back,
kidding.
go back.
How do you deal with visibility?
I'm not. It's something that I'm actively working on. When my business really started growing, so in 2021, I decided to focus on one-on-one coaching, which was
Pandemic
really
times.
unlike me because I was always the I want to start a business that
do
of
training.
things. Yeah, well, I did training.
One to
yeah.
many, no?
Exactly, one to many. So one-on-one, I just thought nobody's gonna pay me that much, and 2, I also wanted to create something that was affordable and accessible, and that was always so important to me. But after, I don't know, there were 6 months where I put out a course, did a whole launch, did a group program, did a whole launch for that. Literally by the end of 2020, I was so burnt out. I was like, you know what? I
bet.
think I should go back to a 9-to-5. Like this is so not worth it. And I started really I don't know, I kind of had a come to Jesus moment where I was like, okay, Kat, you want these things to grow, you want these offers to grow, but the reality is you have training skills, but you don't have that much coaching experience. I have to be real. So when I thought about it like that, I was like, okay, so what do I do to get coaching experience? I could go get a certification, which I think is amazing, but as a person who really has a lot of school trauma and I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about formal education because white supremacy.
Control. Yeah.
So I was like, well, then the only way to do it is to get experience, like literally get experience. So like you want to avoid one-on-one, but like, why don't you just like double down and commit to one-on-one and like let it be slow. If business goes slow, let it be slow. But like, this is the stripes you got to earn to get good and to want the business you have. And it was the best decision I ever made. That next year, like literally starting January, it's like everything clicked. And I started changing my mindset on like accessibility. And I was like, okay, if my offer is gonna be so expensive, which at that time, I mean, it was expensive at that, coaching is expensive, one-on-one specifically. But at that time, I was like, if your coaching is going to be expensive, then you better make your fucking content good and make it free and
What
make
made
it
you decide
quality.
to be expensive?
What?
What made you decide that it was going to be, quote, expensive?
Yeah, well, there's what the industry standard is, right?
Yes.
But then the way I always thought about it was how much did I get paid in my job, in my salary?
So you went off of that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, if I get paid this much in my regular salary, then like the minimum should be that,
make that,
right?
yes.
Yeah, and then as I get more experience, it's gonna grow, right? That was the way I thought about it. I was like, that's the least amount I'm gonna allow, right? And my first one-on-one client came. My first one-on-one client signed because I was selling my group program, which was like $700 at that time, and I put one-on-one is like $2,000, but I only added that so it would make the $700 look good. And then someone was like, I want to do one-on-one. I was
On top of the group?
not
just the one-on-one?
Just the one-on-one. I was like, what? I mean, I was like, I was just like,
But talk about
don't
how
understand.
the synchronicities of like,
Yeah.
universe is like, let me shift you.
And you know what really got me is working with her and seeing the impact
result,
of
yes.
one-on-one.
Yes.
And I was like, wait, this is so much more of why I got into this, because like she was taking so much action and she was really invested, right? And I was like, okay, I could fuck with this. Like, and then I had this group where it was like, I was putting so much effort into this group and it didn't seem like many people cared to take action at all. So in my head, I was just like, no, if I could commit to one-on-one, sure, it'll be slower. Like if it's slower and I get less clients, fine. But at least one, will build my skill of coaching. And two, I'll really understand the dynamics of getting the results, right? Like, because it's so close to one-on-one. So, and then that year changed my life. Like 2021 came and like my business, it really did blow up.
Took off?
Yeah, like
So-
in its own way.
Did you, when you sat down and you were like, I'm going to do this, did you look at your final number and let's just say in your corporate job, you made $10.
Yeah.
And you were like, if I want to make $10 one-on-one, how many clients do I need to make the $10? Is that how you broke it down?
No, well, a couple things. One, I was very inspired by two specific coaches who had made $200K in 1 year off of one-on-one coaching. That just was crazy to me. That being said, I didn't make that my goal. I was very inspired by them, but I didn't make it my goal. Yeah, it was just like of possibility. Like, that's crazy that's possible.
Yeah.
And I really was like in awe of them. One of them specifically. You might, do you know Simone Soul? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she was one of them. I followed her very early on, very early on. And she was one of the people that really inspired me. But I also was like, look at this real state of your business. Let's look at real numbers. And I think I had a goal. I made a goal in 2021 to hit like 100K, which was a big goal for me at that time. But I also was growing a lot of belief that like I could make money because I had done.
You had evidence.
Yeah, I had some. I mean, I had only made like 15K, but like, you know, I was like, if this is possible, and I think when you're early in your career, you think you can do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you still, you know, we still can do anything, but there's like a, it's kind of like this ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know how much work it takes.
Yes.
So in my head, but it's like so possible. So at that time, I was like, let me like just focus on making 100K, but like secretly, I was like, 200K would be amazing. But I remember every single month, even after hitting my goals or surpassing my goals, my brain wanted me to up the goal like this, right? So it's like I did, you know, 8K one month, my brain would be like, you could do 10K the next month. And then if I did 10K, it was like, you could do 15. But that was what I really challenged myself not to do. And every single month, I was like, humble pie, eat the fucking pie, and focus on your low number. Like focus on the small number.
Get to the bare minimum.
Yeah. And even when I hit, like I remember a lot of demands came really quickly the first 6 months. And I mean, I had made like, I don't know, 70K in like 4 months. It was crazy. It came fast. Like you put all this work and then it came fast. And then I raised my prices because the demand was just like big. And then I had a 30K month and I was like, what the fuck? Like I made it. This is it.
Yeah.
I was early on my career. But still, it was very exciting. And then that was the month, that the next month, I was like, oh my God, I'm this shit. Like I'm that bitch. Like I was confident.
Do you have one baby or two now? At that
still
point?
have one.
You still have one.
But he's like two, maybe one or two. Literally the next month, $0.
Welcome to entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And I was like, oh
my God.
My God, 30K, zero. I did have one sale. It was 3K at literally the last day of the month.
But it's like 1%.
And a renewal client.
Oh my gosh.
So I remember thinking like, okay, Kat, no, you stick to the motherfucking plan.
Yeah.
You focus on the small number. You don't have nothing to prove.
Yes.
Like, we're still earning our stripes here. And I had that conversation with myself over and over that year.
Yes.
Because like, when you feel like you've got success or like you figured out the formula, like our brain can really get onto us. But the reality is like, this is a learning process. And you never, especially in business, like you don't just have it down. Like, you have to learn. And then once you do hit a milestone, you know this, once you do hit a milestone, it's like, okay, now you're playing a different game, baby. Like, like and you're new again.
My mom dice, nunca quites el dedo del renglón.
So good.
You know, like.
Yeah.
You're always.
You keep it there.
The moment you take it off, then you get knocked over.
I mean,
me pasó igualito. Like when you get complacent, like, we good.
Yeah,
we got recurring. And then all of a sudden it's like everyone drops and people get upset and like you get refund and you're like, oh my gosh, quita el dedo del renglón.
Yeah.
So 100%. How do you, from an ADHD standpoint, for me it's really hard to set goals.
Yeah.
And so anytime I hear ADHD, you're like,
I'm with you, girl.
I reach my goals.
Yeah.
How? Like,
yeah.
was it because you, for a long time, you complied to neurotypical standards?
You know, no, I would say even my podcast, when I started it, so I made this, so Follow That Fear came from me telling my IG stories what I would do with a date.
Nice.
And it would just be like, hold me accountable. Because I'd be like, if I tell people, now I have like this guilt. I don't know if I recommend this more than this is just what works for me.
So you build public accountability.
Like, yeah, I build public accountability. So if it's public accountability, then I'm like, well, I have more of an inkling, excuse me, more of an inkling to actually go for the goal and also take people on the journey with me, right? So
Ay, pero qué presión.
Yeah, I know. I don't, I'm a little resilient in that way. Yeah. And I also kind of have like this like fuck it attitude. Like the good thing about me when it comes to visibility is as much as I care what people think, I also have this other side of me that is like, fuck what anyone says about me. Like,
where do you think that comes from?
Probably my mom. I was raised by a single mom, like single immigrant mom in San Francisco. So like, she really had to like stand on her own. So I remember her fighting for us. I'm the second born.
Okay.
But
That's when you don't care.
But yeah.
I'm the eldest.
Yeah.
So I'm like the ejemplo.
Our family dynamic was weird because I also was my mom's like right-hand person. It wasn't my sister. Yeah, it was like, I feel we're a little...
¿Cómo así?
Because I was a single mom and my mom always babied my sister because she lived through the divorce and I didn't. I was too baby. So she always had this thing with my sister, which was like, ay, pobrecita, she went through it, Katy, just let her. So like my whole life, she got to pick like, you know, what we were gonna eat that day, or like, let's just give Natalia what she wants. And I love my sister, but like, it really was, and she would even be like, yeah, it was like that.
Wow.
So it feels a little bit of both. Like I kind of get the eldest sister thing, but I also was the baby. So you know what it is? I learned by watching how my mom treated her, and then I just became a little liar.
Nice.
I'd be like, I remember my mom, side story, but it's a good one. I was 9 years old, and my mom, we moved to the East Bay in the Bay Area. My sister went to a party. My mom, with me on her hand, goes into a high school party asking everybody, excuse me, do you know Natalia? Do you know Natalia? Is she... I was mortified. I was 9 for her. I was like, okay, note to self, never tell
that.
mommy where you are.
Did she find her?
Yeah. And she embarrassed the fuck out of her there. So like those are the things where I'm like, yes, thank you for being the little sister.
Yes.
Those are the moments. But anyways, yeah, that's where I kind of got my audacity from, because she was kind of like the black sheep of the family because she was divorced. And I think there's a level of like, I don't give an F because of that.
You don't,
Yeah. So
sure.
that helped me. I definitely got that from her. So.
I think of my mom when also my parents separated first, and yo viví en la Ciudad de Mexico, ¿no? So it like, and Mexico is, I would think it's peor. It's much more traditional and like, you know. So I grew up in the times where having divorced parents was like,
Yeah.
pobre.
Yeah.
And one thing my mom, and to this day I still like, that's like very there, she would always tell us, you can only control what you do.
Yeah.
People will talk, people will criticize, people will say whatever they want, but you can only control your reaction.
Yeah.
And don't give them that satisfaction to see that you hurt.
So good.
And so she would always
What a
be
wise
like,
woman.
I mean, you know, when you're single mom, you just
Were you raised by a single mom?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I feel like single moms, I feel like there's an identity that is not talked about by being raised by a single mom.
Oh, yeah.
Because it has a huge part, it's a huge part of my identity.
Totally.
And I feel like anyone who has been raised by a single mom, it's like, you get it.
We got it.
Like, we know.
Yeah. Because
So
they have to do 2 jobs.
Yeah.
They have to like also handle the emotional aspect of it.
100%. Now that I have children, I'm like, oh my God. Like, she had 2 young daughters. Like,
And girls, aparte.
yeah, I know. And I have boys, and I'm like, if these, dude, I would be triggered AF if I had 2 girls. I'm triggered with them already. But oh my God, I know, it's crazy. It really is crazy. How many siblings do you have?
I'm the eldest. I have a sister and a brother.
Okay.
And my sister has your persona, like,
Yeah.
she actually is the one that lives far away from us.
Oh, okay. That
I'm
makes
always
sense.
like, second child, I know the archetype.
All the permission.
right. But
No,
we
get
talk to
that.
mom. We talk to my mom now, and like she's shared things that we didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, see, I would go in the baño and like cry my heart out, and then come out and be like, everything's fine.
Yeah, let's go.
And we'd be like, what?
Yeah.
We don't remember.
Yeah.
You know?
I just remember strongness. Strongness.
Like and my mom had a business, so I grew up in a single mom business.
Wow.
And
oh my gosh.
So all my fears come from seeing my mom lose her business.
I couldn't I couldn't imagine what.
It was wild. I was a forgotten child. So
How old were you? Like, I'm curious, just like.
So
when.
she was a flight attendant for a long time until my sister was born. So ever since I was little. So actually, I was talking to my brother about this. My abandonment issues come from my mom.
That makes, I mean, you're the first
So I'm
daughter,
the eldest
too.
daughter, and she was a flight attendant. So every day she would leave me for days.
Oh my God.
And so for a long time, I was like, I have daddy issues because my dad left, right? But the
Like,
first
no, I got mommy
abandonment
issues.
came from my mom.
That makes sense.
And so she was flying all the time. But then my sister was born, and she was like, my dad's an alcoholic. And so she was like, I can't leave another child with this man.
Yeah.
And he's sober now, but at the time he was still drinking.
Yeah.
And she, so she quit, and she started her business.
What kind of business was it?
She had a ceramics factory, but it's not like ceramics like throwing in the wheel. It's like con moldes.
Yeah.
And so she had like these very specific techniques on how to paint them, and it was like,
wow.
like back in the 90s.
She an artist?
Yes.
Oh my God. That makes sense. I feel like,
Yes.
like
The
what I
thread.
know about Pam. Yeah.
The thread is coming.
Yeah, I'm like,
through.
okay.
So I grew up literally in the hallways of. She started. ¿Qué empezó primero? No me acuerdo if it was the manufacturer or the retail location. But I remember I would always be like, how can I help? Because I'm the eldest, right?
Yeah,
And she'd be like, no, tu trabajo es la escuela. You know, like just focus on school. And I'd be like, no, ma'am.
I could work.
Yeah. And so she had a whole manufacturer where they would make the pieces.
The pieces.
And then, like, I remember the kiln was probably like the size of a bathroom.
Oh, wow.
Like, this is how much they were doing.
Yeah.
And then all those, she would sell some of them mayoreo, like she would sell them in like mass.
Yeah.
And then some pieces she would take to the retail store.
Yeah.
And then teach people how to do them.
Wow.
So it was like a whole, like, employees. And the thing is, like, that's something that, like, I have a lot of business lessons for my mom's business. You know, she hired all her family, as my mom is also an eldest daughter.
Yeah.
And so she hired all
I
her
could see
family.
that, yeah.
You know? But then they played her. Yeah. And so that's how, after my dad left, like, people see, like, she was devastated. And so they were like, oh, she ain't paying attention. Let me just take some things from here. Let me take some things from there. And then it was just...
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, and then we came to the U.S. But all that to say, I don't, no sé cómo llegamos aquí.
Yeah.
But the point is, I grew up seeing,
Yeah.
like, all of the things, and that's why I became the coach my mom needed.
That makes so much sense.
Yes. Because when I started business coaching, I would see,
You literally, like,
serendipitously-
grew up, like,
Yeah.
watching a business.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Wow.
And I got clients. I'm a business advisor through SBDCs. Do you know your local SBDC?
I don't, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah. So it's a national nonprofit. Everyone has
Okay.
access to it. It's great for business, especially people that don't have capital for business coaching. They can start with their local SBDC. And
That's
so
amazing.
I'm a consultant for them. And
cool.
I started coaching Spanish speakers, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my mom.
That's gonna make me cry. That's so special.
That's when I realized I'm the coach my mom needed. I don't want to coach. I don't want to be a coach.
Wow.
I'm in San Diego.
Yeah.
It's the land of the coaches.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So from there, that's when I decided to become a coach.
Wow.
But to bring it back to you,
Yeah. That's so cool.
It's funny how life works.
Yeah, it is.
And when you talk about you needed the experience to become a coach, I'm the opposite. I'm on all the certifications. I have all the certifications and all of the things.
Yeah.
How did you ever sabotage your business? Did you ever think like, oh, maybe I don't know enough, or maybe I need this, or maybe...
You know, I gave myself a lot of permission to just be a beginner and learn. And you know what I always, because I think the part that I really had to come to terms with is the ethical part, because I knew, obviously I like know the industry stigma, but I will say this, my approach to business coaching came from a lens of life coaching. And I'll say another thing. I have a business major. I studied business, right? So, but I never lead with that. Because to me, I'm like, so what? Like, this is where my like school trauma comes in.
Yes,
That's why I'm like
yes.
anti a lot of, I love education, but I'm just like, that comes in. So I think I had to come to terms with like, if I'm gonna build this business, I have to really be in it to help people. And I think especially when I made the decision to like sell one-on-one coaching, and it was higher ticket, and I think I started at like $2,000 for like 3 months, I want to say, or it was a little less, but something around that. As that number started to grow purely based on demand, like I remember my coach telling me like, I had booked out the I went from 2,000 to 3,000 quickly, just based off demand. And then at 3,000, I was like chilling for a month or two, but then I mean, when I tell you, I was getting like 10 sales calls and closing 5 of them at least a month.
Nice.
It was nerve-wracking, right? I was just like, oh, well, how am I gonna keep this up? And she's like, oh, you should change your price to, I wanna say she said 8,000. And I was like, get the out of here.
Triple it?
Yeah, basically. I was just like, and then I was like, no. But what I did do, so the month where I did 30K, I was selling 3K for 3 months at that point. And I was like, I will raise my price, but it's not really raising the price. I'm just gonna double the value. So I started selling 6K for 6 months. So the price didn't change. It was just like and that changed my business. And I'm so proud of that decision, because that was a decision that really felt like, and I remember I had coaches that like I looked up to connect with me, and they'd be like, your prices are so cheap and la la la. And I'm like, yeah, but like I also have like lots of demand, and like I don't want to change that.
Right.
And I just didn't want to play into like just raise your prices because XYZ. So it really happened organically. And when I looked at my time, like I was looking at like my time and what's important to me, and my time with my kid and my time with my family. And I'm like, no, like I am allowed to raise my prices. Like this is my time, and like I do have the demand, so I am gonna do this. But I just did it super intentionally. I will say that when I raised my prices to 10K, I had to really learn how to trust myself at a new level, especially from that like ethical point of view, because it felt wrong, like in many, many ways.
How did you overcome the resistance?
I coached the hell out of myself. But I think I had to look at the truth, which was I had lots of demand, even at the 6K price. And like, if I'm going to, I didn't have to, but I actually invested in this very expensive mastermind, and I got coached there. I was really ready to like do a group program, and like, I'm ready to do a group program. I'm sold out for like, 8 months at this point, la la la. And I got coached to raise my prices to 10K. And first of all, I went to this, it was a in-person mastermind event plus 6 months. It was in Mexico. It was like 90% white women. And they split us into groups, into these, and have multiple coaches, whatever. And oh my God, when I tell you, when I got coached when I got coached, she's like, oh, no, you should do 10K for one-on-one. And I was like, no, actually, I'll do whatever I want in my business. I was defensive. And I remember her coaching on me. And then I ended up crying in front of this group. I remember I was mortified. Luckily, I had my friend, well, she wasn't even my friend at this point, but I had a woman of color next to me in that room. There was like a small room with us. And we were talking about my price, and she just put her hand on my leg, and I forget what she said to me. She just gave me like a little bit of advice, because I was like, no, I want it to be 8K and whatever. Anyways, thank God she was there. We're good friends now. But I had a lot of resistance. I called my husband. I was like, I'm gonna ask for a refund. I'm over this. I don't belong here. I was pissed. And then I got coached by the head coach the next day, and she just broke down like, she's like, you could do a group, but she's like, if you're gonna do a group, your business needs to be ready for a group and to give that much value. Like the thing I love about this coach is that it really was all about the value that you give versus like just the number of the coaching. And she's like, sure, you want to do a group program, fine, but like, if your business feels hard and heavy right now, a group program is not going to fix your burnout. Like, that's not how it works. Like, you need to fix your burnout while you get systems together to scale your business. And she just made a really good point. She's like, and if you want to make money meantime, you have to raise your prices because your demand is capped, right? And when I heard it from that perspective, I was like, okay, I could be mad at the situation, but like, you're sitting on your green grass that you deeply wanted. Like, please don't act like you have all these problems. So then I coached myself, and I just started telling myself, like, I started coaching myself. And I just started telling myself, like, you are allowed to sell your offer. It doesn't make you a bad person, and it's not for everyone. But one day you will have an offer that is for everyone. But right now is not that time. Like, it's just not that time. So I really had to like get behind that. And then I challenged myself to sell out my 10K offer, and I sold it out, which was, I still am like, it was nuts at that time. But this is, you know, I do a lot of mindset work and like just shifting, you know, changing the way that you think, changing the way that you think about yourself, changing the way you think about your people. I think I work with like 99% women of color, mostly Latinas. And I find that like the area that we have to work on the most is the way we think about our community that we sell to.
100%.
Like, it's sure about ourselves, but it's like we also have to get out of this narrative that like our people are struggling, which they are, right? There's no like, there's truth.
But they're also not.
But they're also not.
Yes.
Right? Like, hello, like we had two podcasters who are expressing themselves right here. It's like, there's so many people. And I didn't know this before coaching, that like the women I would help, they're just like me. They're just like me. And I always tell my clients, like, your clients are your equals. You're just an expert in one area. And your client can also school you on another.
Totally.
Like, and having that mentality has helped me, like, because I think you can get a little hierarchical when you have success, like your brain can go that way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, everybody could school me the same way I could school them on like what I do. So, and that's my approach to everything, is like, no. I'm selling to people like me, and I don't want to be telling myself like, oh, they're broke, they can't afford this, they're struggling. It's like, do I want someone talking like that about me when I'm trying to make a buying decision? Like, that is effed up.
Yes. One of the best things a coach has said to me, because I had that for a long time, and I in my attempt to be accessible, I would underprice myself.
Yeah.
And this is why I talk about Catalina culture now, because it's what keeps us overlooked, underpriced, overworked, overwhelmed. And I was working with a coach, and I was like, but I can't be too expensive, because like, what if they can't? And she's like, your clients' wallets are none of your business.
Yes, 100%. I was given very similar advice.
Yeah, and so that kind of like shifted it, because I was staying broke just by like trying to help.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's
100%.
this idea that what you said, we're not struggling. I now have multi-million-dollar Latinas, like, that literally their businesses are making millions of dollars. And it's amazing to see.
Yeah.
Because to your point of, just like we are coaching them, I learn from them all the time.
Yeah, 100%. All my clients too. I have a client, you might know of her. Her handle's Wealth para Todos. She's a money coach, and she was one of my first clients in the beginning, and she was my longest term client. We just stopped working together recently, but for years we were working together, and she was working with me. And we had a great podcast episode where we talked about investing in coaching, and like, we brought up how much, like, I was sharing with her on the podcast that like, I remember my mom like refinancing our house and like doing these, you know, ways to get money.
Yes.
But what she did with the money, you know, God bless her, but like, she would like, when we got older, she bought us cars, which is like commendable, not super fancy cars, cheap cars, but still, right?
But she did it.
And I think about like, what if she made these decisions with a woman of color money coach who helped her make intentional decisions about her money, like I probably wouldn't be worrying about her retirement. I probably wouldn't, right?
Totally.
So it's like this is where it's like we have to, again, like we have to stop telling ourselves these stories. And I have another client, Sabrina, who's amazing, and she said something on a coaching call once that I was just like, this is genius. She's like, if you cannot tell an immigrant they cannot do something, because they will literally do it. Like they can do anything, like anything.
Yes.
And we have to remember that like that resiliency is in our blood. We can do anything. And to even think that like our community can't is not helpful. Even if there's truths, right? There's two truths. Are communities struggling? Are they fucking being marginalized? Absolutely, especially right now. But we can't live in that narrative. We also have to look the other way and see what is moving and happening. And I get passionate when I...
It's so important because I think this is where the only way to shift it is to shift it.
Yeah.
You know, the only way to shift the idea. And like, I remember I went to college in Missouri.
My God, you have such a diverse background.
I know America.
Yeah.
I know real America.
Yeah, I imagine.
I remember one time someone asked me, do you still ride donkeys in Mexico? Girl. And I was like,
What?
I'm gonna give you a minute to rethink your question because...
And this was in college?
in college.
This is a college-educated person.
Según. I don't know.
Wow.
And so that fueled me a ton to be like, I'm going to prove to you that like I'm from the biggest city capital in Mexico.
Beautiful cities.
Like, and so I showed her pictures and I was like, look, this is where I come from.
Yeah.
This
like
is
this
like
beautiful place.
We have more buildings than this low ass town of
yeah,
70,000
Missouri.
people.
Yeah, like you wanted to Missouri.
Like we have skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And we have like, and she was like, oh, I had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, you need to educate yourself, probably travel.
Yeah.
But the point is that gave me a lot of fuel to be like, I need to shift the narrative of what people think of us.
Yes.
And to bring it back to
100%.
we can't stay in the weeds of the suffering.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, like, right now I have a program called Verano con Self-Love because we can't stay in like the pain of it.
Yeah.
We deserve
can't.
joy and we deserve money and we deserve like good lives and we deserve to rest
and for it to be easy.
Yes.
Or
feel
easier,
good.
I should say. Sure, of course you have to work hard and whatever, but like, I mean, this is something I've had to work through too. It's just, I had a moment, I think it was last year, I'll never forget. I took 3 weeks off business in July.
Nice.
And I did it very intentionally. I prepared for it. And we went to like Hawaii one week. We went to Maui with my family, which like, even that, I was just like, oh my God, are we rich? Like,
Yes.
I was like, this is crazy. And then I took like a week off with my son just to spend time with him. And then I took another week off myself in the house so I could just,
Nice.
it was just like and I remember I really forced myself not to work. I worked a little, but like for the most part, I didn't work. And it was hard.
I bet.
And what I realized was like, oh my God, I have to learn how to rest for all the women who never got to rest.
Yes.
Like I have the luxury and I don't even know what to do with it because it is so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's so uncomfortable. So
Did you feel guilty?
oh my God. I'm Christian, so yes, I feel guilty. No, but absolutely. I think success guilt is something that I've had to wrap my head around.
Yes.
Of like, why is it easier for me? Or why do good things happen to me? Why did I choose a good partner? Like, I just feel like I've had a lot of like luck, and I say it in quotes because really like, I know that's not exactly how it works, right?
Right.
But also luck. Like, also luck.
But also you're a good model.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I've had to wrap my head around is like, and I think there's truth to the luck too, you know, like I think especially in coaching, like I spend so much of my time thinking like, why isn't this client getting the results she wants? Why isn't this client taking the action that she wants? Why for all these things? And I have to also like just face that like we all have our own gifts. Things come easier to some than others. And vice versa, right? Like there are some things that come easy, like rest comes easy to a lot of other people, right? Yeah. Like for me, I have to like literally start new nervous system regulation
plan it for months.
Yeah, and it takes so much time for me to learn how to be present and just calm.
Yes.
And that's hard for me, right? That's hard for me. That being said, I'm like very natural salesperson. I like selling. I like talking. I like marketing. Like that comes easier to me. And I also have come to terms that like, okay, like some things do come easier to me, but some things don't, but I have to do both, right? We all have to do all of them.
Well, this is what I would challenge the luck, because I think you've made choices that have led you to those places.
Yes. You know? And taken risks.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, I think for my partner, we're not perfect, but we see eye to eye on a lot, and we got married young. And this is where I'm like, wow, I did get lucky, because I was 23 when I got with him. And, you know, our 20s was a lot of trauma bonding. Like we were not good. We should have left each other. But in our 30s, having kids and all that, like a lot has shifted for us. And I just am thankful that I'm thankful I left my toxic partner, right? Like that was a big one. It's like actually leaving the partner behind that wasn't good for me. And really like learning how to be a woman outside of my identity as a wife, you know? And just being okay with like who I'm becoming and who I'm evolving to. Like I definitely challenge him from a personal growth side, right? Of course. And I think I've had to learn to be okay with that. And I'm just thankful that he is, you know, pick a decent partner, y'all, whoever's listening. Just like, I think with him, I picked the good human. Like, did I have all the answers? No, but if I did anything right, I picked the person who had integrity. Like him and all his friends, they don't cheat on their women. Like there's a common thread. Like pick the guy who doesn't cheat or who doesn't do people wrong, right? Like I think that is, if I did anything right, because it's like if that's there, then like, you know, and we respect each other. Like he has a lot of respect for me, and I think pick the person who respects you. But yeah, I guess you're right. And
the flags come early.
Yeah, they do. I mean, he had some, I had some shit.
We all do.
Now that we're on a personal growth journey now, I mean, we've been together like 11 years.
Nice.
And we like almost divorced like 3 times since the kids. But I will say now we're like in this really like working on our marriage in such a beautiful way. And we have experience that now I'm like really excited for,
what's to come?
Yeah.
Is he still in corporate?
Yeah, for sure. He's so
he would never.
not.
Mine either.
I don't know if he would never, but like, I don't talk a lot of business with him. Let's just say that. That's where we kind of. But I have to be okay with. Who he is and how he thinks. He doesn't know what I know.
Correct.
You know, like
correct.
He hasn't seen what I've seen. He hasn't experienced, and he doesn't really need to.
Totally.
You know,
I think that's important because sometimes I feel like we put a lot of weight in partners and we like expect them to do so many things for us. And
100.
like David is also like, and he's I would never.
Yeah.
Like he would be like, I'll be your operations person. Like
stability over here.
I'm not gonna sell any. Like there's no way. And he's a superintendent in construction.
Oh, okay.
And so like I've jumped.
Oh my God, so much opportunity in construction.
I'm like, dude, you could be a GC, and like there's so much business. And he'd be like, and he's literally in the Myers-Briggs. He's 85% introvert.
Oh wow. Okay.
And like he would literally like. And he's like,
no.
Do you realize I would have to like go knock on doors and like sell myself? No, no, ma'am.
Like, no, thank you.
Just give me the job and I'll like lift the building, put it together.
Yeah.
And so with that, I also like with him, I don't talk necessarily business.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I have business besties that I
Yeah.
talk to, and we like.
Exactly. Get yourself with people, make friends who are
He's
doing
more
the work.
like my break. Like if I want to disconnect, like let's just do the thing.
Yeah.
Because I think many times, like I see on social media and like things like that, like power couples, and
Yeah.
like they're both building businesses. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I dated someone who was very similar to me.
Oh, interesting.
And that's
I've
el tóxico.
never dated anyone similar to me. We also got married young, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the Verano con Self Love series,
Yeah.
so it's 5 episodes, all love stories.
Oh my God, I need to listen to those.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
And
so
so right now we're in story 3, I think.
Okay.
4 is el tóxico. So in 2 weeks.
I always go for the business ones.
I know.
You know.
But he like we were like super similar. Like we both wanted to start businesses,
Yeah.
and like we both like we want like, and I realized there was very much, because of course we're not healed.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like we were young
Yeah.
and like we had all our trauma like
100.
So it was like
Still.
a big competition
Yeah.
all the time. Like we were just like,
Oh, it was a lot of competition.
yeah.
I'm a little competitive with him, and he's always like, lay the fuck off.
Who cares?
I'm working on it, okay? I think it's just like it's very natural,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But I think I've learned that's so interesting. I feel like it would be just too much.
Totally. And that's
I
why
mean-
with David now, it's like so chill.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
and have you seen the movie with the Hot Cheetos movie?
Oh yes.
So Judy
Yeah.
is Richard's wife.
Yeah.
Right? And
I need to rewatch it. I only
yeah,
watched it when it came out.
He's great. He was in Café con Pam.
Yeah. Oh wait, he was?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
see that episode.
Yeah. It's like
I have
way
to
back
listen.
when.
Yeah.
He's great. He's great.
Oh, awesome.
And so in the movie, like he always, like
Yeah.
not just in the movie, he always talks about Judy, his wife.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
she's the one that was behind him, like,
Yeah.
you got this, you can do this. And so my brother and I have this thing of like, we need to, like, for him, he needs to find his Judy. And so he tells me like, is David your Judy? And I'm like, he's my Judy, but in a different way.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
he's not pushing me to like grow and scale and
Yeah.
you know, he's more
Yeah.
like, let's go for a walk. You know, he's
Well,
a
and I-
different type of Judy.
Love that. I love that for you. I think as a woman, when you are so ambitious, and I mean, in business, I feel like you have to be, I don't know how you feel about masculine and femininity, but like, I feel like
We tend to lean on the
when
masculine.
yeah, of course, yeah, in business, right?
Yeah.
Capitalism, whatever. But it's like, it's so good. Like, I feel very similar in terms of my husband. It's like, no, with him, he's like, the expectations aren't there.
Right.
Like, just chill. Like, if
brings you
if
to your
there's a
feminine.
problem, it's because I'm not chilling.
Yes, yes.
Like, that's my work, right? And I think that kind of balance is like beautiful, and it should be that
Right?
way, you know?
Yes. And
I was just telling my nephew the same. I was like, choose the girl, because he stayed with us for a couple of weeks. He's leaving today. But I was like, choose the girl who lifts you up and believes in you and like whatever. But I think because we're similar in terms of like energy in that way, like I think having a partner that's like grounds you
Yes.
is something that we
So
need.
much.
Like, because if I had someone like me, Jesus, I would never rest.
Totally.
Like,
I mean,
would never
I
calm
lived
down.
it.
Yeah.
It was a
You're
little,
like, no, don't recommend.
no. Because we were literally like, it was nonstop.
I could imagine. I'm curious if it's the same for you. When I go on vacation with my husband, my favorite thing to do is like not go out and just be in the hotel and be lazy and watch
Yes.
movies and like do whatever.
Chill.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like my favorite.
And in fact, I don't, like, David's a mystery. Like, everyone knows that his name is David, but they don't see him on socials. And it became a thing because he doesn't like to be on social media.
Yeah.
And like, so I just record his voice.
Yeah.
And people just know his voice, and they're like, now with AI, they're like, is
Yeah.
he real? And I'm like, he's real. But it's just
You're like, maybe not your problem.
right? Like, he exists for me.
Yeah.
And I think to bring it back to visibility and content and all the things,
Yeah.
that's like something sacred for me.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, my relationship is something
Yeah.
that I keep for me. And I think maybe this is a call to normalize chill relationships.
Yeah.
You know, like like redefine the power couple.
Yeah. And that's so true because my husband and I get that we're a power couple a little bit, but he's very ambitious, but he's just different. We're different, you know?
Yeah, you're
right?
not chasing the same thing.
Yeah, and he doesn't, at least, yeah, I guess they don't do a lot of, for me it feels like chasing. For him, it doesn't, like, he's like the grounding place.
Yes.
And for me, it's like a lot of, but that's okay. Like, I also like the hustle, right? Like, there's something that like I enjoy and love about it, or else I wouldn't do it. But, and the unpredictability, right? Like, that is, as much as I could hate it, like, I also love it.
Yes.
Yeah,
My
so
best
it's a beautiful
friend,
thing.
totally. She's a real estate investor, and we always talk about how we're opposite. Because for David and I'm the gas, and David's the brakes.
Yes.
And for them,
So same.
yeah, she's the brakes, and he's the gas.
Oh, yeah.
And so when we hang out, because I have one investment property, and in Missouri, you know, it served its purpose.
Yeah.
I invest there now.
Yeah.
And when we talk about like the next property or like what, like I'm like, okay, let's go, let's do it. And because I'm so
true.
like not risk, like I'm
Yeah.
like,
Same.
you know,
Same, like,
and David's
fuck it.
like, hold up, let's look at the numbers, let's look at, and so I'm the gas and he's the brakes. And probably the same.
Same.
You're the gas and he's the brakes.
And what's one of my best friends, same. Like, her husband is the gas,
And she's the brakes?
She's the brakes, and she also does the brakes on me. I'm like,
Yes.
I guess I should take a
And we need
chill
that.
pill. Yeah, 100%.
Going back to the overcompensation and
Yeah.
overdoing and like chasing all the things.
100%. And I think that's like when I like going back to like business and the way, like when I think about how I've been able to grow, like the grounding is needed. Like, it is needed, because if you go too fast, you'll just fuck shit up in
get
business.
derooted.
Literally. Like, you will fuck up your business if you go too fast.
Yeah.
And grounding yourself and slowing down before picking things up. And that's why I respect the coaching I got when she was like, you know, raise your prices to 10K or whatever. I respected it because like what she was really doing is like, no, you could keep going at this pace, and you think that going from like this to group program and then I'll scale that and blah, blah, blah. Like, you think that's the way that's gonna make you feel less overwhelmed or whatever, when the reality is like, I just didn't want to raise my prices because I thought I had a lot of thoughts about it. And then years later, I got to put out my program that was more accessible, right? But I like earned that. And I'm much more proud of it because I have so much experience.
Totally.
Right? Like, I'm not just putting out a random program.
Yes.
I'm putting out a program that's tried and true, that I have client results with, right? So it's like, there's purpose in going like a little slower sometimes, just for the sake of being intentional and letting things grow slowly.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What are we working on?
Yeah.
What's exciting?
The last year I've been in a very like identity shift. We were just talking about this a little bit in my business, and really figuring out like, what do I want my business to look like? So right now I have one program that I sell. It's called Show Up Real. Authenticity has always been a huge part of my brand. And this is a content marketing program for coaches. I'm really in a place where I want to make this program like the best it could be. So I'm in a phase in my business where I'm really pouring into one offer and making it the best I could. And I have a commitment to my clients in there. Like, I want to help them, kind of honestly similar to the way I started with one-on-one, where like I feel like I have to earn my stripes to make it to become a good coach. I feel like now I'm in this place where it's like, I mean, I've had this program for almost 2 years, but I'll say like the last year, those 2 years, I've been managing it with another program, and I just haven't given everything I want to it. So now I'm in this place where I'm like, no, I'm gonna make I'm okay with things going slower if it means making this program something I'm wildly proud of. So that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing on this program, and I'm focusing on new levels of content and challenging myself to like, you know, not so much do more, but challenging myself to like, you know, organize at a different level and like just prepare my business for the growth that I want in the future. and not rushing to the like money so much. You know.
And with your ADHD, how do you? This is a personal.
Yeah.
For myself.
Yeah.
How do you not create new shit?
So I've had the same offers for like years.
I know. That's very admirable. Like, I take my hat off to you because I have like 40,000 different things that I've offered.
I mean, I also, that's admirable when you don't.
Like, I just come up with shit. I created a challenge in a week.
Yeah. No, I do the same shit a little bit. In the
I mean, kind of like how you start. Yeah.
Like,
but how do you stay with one thing?
Here's the thing. How I have is I get to create. I just create within my programs.
Within it.
Yeah. So that's the approach that I've had for a long, long time, where it's like I get to build the shit I want. I just put it inside my programs, and honestly, it's hard. Let me be real. Like, I always want to put out new shit, and I give myself permission to sometimes. But I think, what has really kept me? What has really kept me focusing on one is recommitting to the people who have recommitted to me as a coach. That's number one. And then number two is I always ask myself, like, what would happen if I just tried to make this the best I could, right? And I let myself kind of go back to that. Yeah. And this has been a year where I've the challenge of creating newness and like burning it all down and starting from scratch has been so lively in my brain and my heart.
Yeah.
But I keep going back to like, okay, but like what? I think it's interesting when like the box is made up in our head. Mm-hmm. It's like, do you need to do something fresh and different? Okay, cool. What is the problem with doing it within their program? Like, where's that disconnect, right? Because I have the same trust me, it is hard, right? But I get curious. I lean on the curiosity of like, it's so interesting that like you think this is gonna give you what you want. And I'm talking to myself. You think that like doing it this way is going to give you something or make you feel something, when the reality is you could do that within your program and also get that feeling if you would like. So it's a lot of just learning how to like choose the way you want to think about stuff, right? And it's been hard. Like it has been hard. And there's also room for that. I know, but there's also room for like trying new shit, right? It's not like you have to try new shit to grow your business. So I think, you know, I spent a lot of time doing brand new things in my business in the beginning, and that burnt me out a lot. So I think sticking to one thing and then allowing myself
and selling the shit out of it.
And selling the shit out of it, but also allowing it to get boring. I got really good coaching. I'm gonna share it with you because I got really good coaching. I don't know when, but once upon a time, I think it was actually when I was selling one-on-one. I remember I told my coach, I had like 4 months of back-to-back huge months. And I came to her and I was like, I'm gonna do a webinar and it's gonna be so fun and la la la. And I'm like so inspired. And then she's like, wait, isn't your business like growing right now? And she's like, I was like, yes. And then she's like, is anything not going well? And I was like, no, right now, no. She's like, well, then why are you gonna do a webinar? And I was like, well, it just sounds so fun and I'm so like inspired, right?
Like you wanted to create a new thing.
Like I just wanted to put a webinar together. Okay. Like I didn't even want to create a new thing. And she's like, well, if you're doing it for fun, then why don't you just do something fun with your husband? She's like, your businesses can't be the fuel to your inspiration and funness. Like if fun and inspiration is what you're looking for,
go play with your
kid. Start a fucking hobby. Like put that in your life. It doesn't need to be in your business, especially when your business is, you know, kind of in motion. And that was really, this was years ago and I still look back at that and I'm like, okay, like it's okay for business to be boring and it's okay for it to feel like work. Because eventually, you know, in the beginning it was all inspiration and everything, but like, that doesn't last. Like it is a job. And it does pay the bills, and it's okay for it not to be the fuel of inspiration sometimes, at least for me.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn that, and that's been hard. Yeah. But I think it's also like pushed me to like look at my life and see what I want my life to look like. you know?
For sure.
Yeah. And it's pushed me into healing for sure.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I tell people, if you want to start a business, if you want to work on your inner work, start a business.
Start a business. Wow. Yes. 100.
That will get you like deep into the shadows of your soul.
100%. You will just face yourself in your mirror.
All the things.
Forever.
So, yes. Tell us all the places and spaces where we can find you.
Let's see. First place, my podcast, Show Up Real. It's called Show Up Real, and you could find it on anywhere there's a podcast. I mostly hang out on Instagram at Cat Del Carmen. I also have a podcast page, but I'm usually at Cat Del Carmen with a C. And then if if anyone's listening and you want to feel more free in your content and not have it be this thing that like feels so hard to do in your business, I really look at content as like this creative outlet and this way that we get to express ourselves. And I always
You're so good at it.
Thank you. I always want it to be that. Like it gets to be this place where we get to express ourselves authentically, be real with our audience. So if that's you, get on my email list because I write emails about that all the time.
And we'll have all the links in the show notes.
Thank you. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that was a combo. I thought about doing this into two parts, maybe making it a part 1, part 2, but you know what? YouTube is the place where you can like pause it and rewind. And the good thing is that when you come back, YouTube remembers where you stopped. So if you had to stop at some point, it's okay. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. And if you're ready to go deeper, you can join the Cafe con Pam Supporters Club. And this gives you access to early releases, to additional podcasts. And it's only $5 a month. So you can buy us coffee, and support us that way. The link is also in the descriptions. Hasta la próxima. Stay grounded, stay connected, como siempre. Sigue brillando y nos vemos durante nuestro próximo cafecito.
Sabrosura pa' ti que